What's going on, everyone, and welcome in to NHL Best Bets for April 10th, presented by the Odds Shoppers. I'm Gator Betting, joined by Franco the Banker today. We're here to break down our favorite plays for Thursday nights, 10-game slate, whether you're looking for player props, money lines, or totals. We've got you covered. Also, don't forget to check us out on the Odds Shoppers Tails Network, where we're dropping all of our early plays. All of our subscribers can get a chance to get the best lines before they move. And remember, we're not just giving out picks. We're also explaining why we like each bet, providing a detailed breakdown. You can use promo code PUCKS for 50% off your first month. The link for our Tails profile will be in the description of this video. Also, later in the show, we'll be talking about the Portfolio EV tool from the Odd Shoppers to identify the top plus EV plays of the night. Franco, let's get into tonight's slate. What is one of your best bets for this glorious 10-game slate?
Yeah, so I'm going to go to the Sabres Blue Jackets game here. Feels like an over, like just without thinking about anything right off the bat. I mean, it's set at 6.5, minus 115, so it's a little bit juiced to the over here. These are two teams that are out of it at this point. Columbus is all their fate is all but sealed at this point. But yeah, so I think when that happens, these teams are just going to play some kind of pond hockey. So I think the over there in general looks good, but looking to target a player prop just because I believe there will be goals. So I'm looking at Ryan McLeod. I took him the last game Buffalo played. I'm looking for him to get a point. So this is his first season. He's really been given, a shot in the top six. Let's put it that way. Previously playing on Edmonton and not really getting a lot of run there, with guys like McDavid and Draisaitl hogging all the ice time. So he's thrust into that kind of top six role over the last, month or so for Buffalo, and he's kind of thrived, I would say, overall. He is on pace. He's already set career highs at this point. So at this point, it's all just gravy. But when it comes down to, I think, a team being eliminated from the playoffs, guys are going to be looking to just kind of pad their stats. And he's a guy now at this point, 1 point away from 50 points, which his previous career high was 30. So, I mean, this is a significant jump for him. No matter what, you can't take away these types of statistics, depending on whatever happens with the rest of this guy's career. So, and he's also 1 goal away from 20. So his previous career high there was 12. So again, this is milestone based for me. And I just think a guy like him, he's looking to set things that, 50 point season, 20 goal seasons are nothing to, sneeze at. I mean, they're pretty good to have on your stat sheet in your career. And he's looking to pad that. So he gets a team in CBJ who's just bleeding goals at this point. And McLeod in general has been pretty hot overall. He's had points in 6 of his last 10, including a couple multi-point games. We're getting him at plus 114 tonight. Plus 115, I believe, was the best number I saw earlier today. It's a really good price. You're getting him at plus money. And if you look at his road splits as well, he's been a lot better on the road. Points in 8 of his last 10, including 4 straight and a total of 9 points in his last 4 games on the road. So he's just been red hot on the road. Way more productive there. And even his goal prop, I think, is worth a sprinkle as well. Like I said, he's 1 goal away from 20. He has goals in 4 of his last 6 on the road as well, including 2 straight. So I think all those motivating factors, in this game being, what should be a high total, feels pretty good. He's on that second power play, so should be getting plenty of ice time.
Yeah, Franco, this is the Buffalo Sabres roller coaster, which happens every year. And right now, as soon as they get eliminated from the playoffs or about to, they have been eliminated this season. But this is the high point of the season where everyone gets excited about the talent we have for next year, despite the fact that it means nothing. And with all that being said, I am going to stick in that game as well. I like one of his line mates tonight, JJ Peterka, for a point. He's been terrific. He's got a point in 8 of his last 10, 9 of his last 10 on the road. And like you said before, too, the Sabres offense has really picked up as of late. 3+ goals in each of their last 9 games. And kind of during that span, too, you have peaks of 6, 5, 8, 7. So Sabres offense has really started to click when it means absolutely nothing. And on the other side of things, Columbus, as you mentioned, is bleeding goals right now. On the year, they've averaged 3.8 goals against, but looking at their last 10 games, that number has jumped up to 4.10. So you're getting JJ Peterka for a point tonight at minus 145. So I like that. Maybe a little line stack. I know Peterka, they play together with Quinn on that second line. McLeod's on the second power play unit. Peterka's on the first power play unit, but I still don't mind that point stack with Peterka and McLeod. Any other plays for you tonight?
Yeah, let's go to Dallas. We have a pretty big matchup here tonight.
Yep.
Dallas and Winnipeg. Dallas is 4 points back, I believe. Hold on, let me verify that before I say the wrong thing. But I believe they're 4 points back from the Jets right now.
Yep, they are.
To kind of overtake that spot. I mean, this is pretty significant for Dallas because if they can somehow leapfrog Winnipeg, they can avoid Colorado in the first round, which I think both of these teams would like to do. Obviously,
yeah,
Winnipeg got smoked by the Avs last year in the playoffs. So I have less like towards this play, but I think there's a little bit of reason here as well. This could be a low scoring game, so that's why I'm a little bit more tentative here. Just in case this is tight, 1-1, 2-1 type of game, then obviously we're not as excited about a point prop here as we were in that previous one. But Cole Perfetti is right now, again, I'm going milestones here. He's 2 points away from his first 50-point NHL season, which that's a real nice number for him. He's only been in the league for 3 seasons, I believe. He's still pretty young. But he's kind of turned it on recently. Points in overall, his 6 of his last 10. He's missed in 2 in a row, so kind of sometimes I like that. That's like the time where you're like, okay, maybe he can kind of heat back up again. He's been decent on the road as well. Points in 3 of his last 4 on the road. And I mean, typically we look at Dallas as a team that's stingy and has a good blue line, has a good goaltender, all that fun stuff. But that hasn't really been the case, or at least over the last, what feels like the last month, really.
Yeah.
They lost Heiskanen. That blue line doesn't look as good. And really the goaltending hasn't been as good. So, again, I think maybe they play up a little bit more than they've played recently. But, I mean, this is a team that's conceded 11 goals in their last 3 games. And not against the toughest competition. We're talking Pittsburgh, Vancouver, and Minnesota. So, yeah, Dallas has been struggling overall defensively, and Perfetti's been pretty good. And like I said, he's only 2 points away from 50 points. He's 2 goals away from 20. Both of those would be career highs. So I could see him playing with a little extra juice again. This is kind of where I'm going, to close out the season, looking at guys trying to set career highs and reach milestones that they haven't before. So I know when it comes down to it, we can't really trust certain teams that come out in certain games, if they have stuff clinched, or, dogs might show up randomly, even though they're out of the playoffs. Obviously we've seen Buffalo red hot recently, and that doesn't make any sense. Philly beat the Rangers last night for no reason. It's just lots of silly stuff going on recently. So I really,
Anaheim beat Calgary.
Yeah, Anaheim beating Calgary, who needed that win,
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm really trying to stay away from sides and look more for different reasons to find motivation. I think looking at these narratives, these player props to, get career highs and achieve things that they haven't before are kind of ways to go here. So that's where I'm going to be staying. I like this a little bit less, like I said, given the fact that Dallas has a little bit something extra to play for. But like I said, Perfetti has been playing well, and if the Jets can win this game, they can really set themselves up in a good spot to not have to face Colorado in the first round.
Yeah. No, it's a great look. Again, I'm sticking with Buffalo Columbus. This seems like a game that's just riddled with props tonight. I am going to go with Zach Werenski to have over 3.5 shots on goal. That's plus 120 on DraftKings. Werenski has been firing lately. He's had 10 plus shot attempts in 8 of his last 10. In the 2 games where he didn't reach that 10 shot attempt mark, he had 8 and 7. He's hit in 8 of his last 10 overall, 9 of his last 10 on the road this season. Or excuse me, 8 of his last 10 overall, 7 of his last 10 at home. This year, he's been much better at home, hitting at a 51.9% rate compared to 36.8 on the road. So I really like Werenski tonight. So that's probably my other look in this game. The Sabres have been a little bit leakier to shots as well. So you're getting Werenski at great value tonight for plus 120. All right. I think those are both of our top plays for tonight. So you have McLeod for a point and then Perfetti for a point as well, correct?
Yep. And then, like I said, I don't mind sprinkling either of them for a goal as well, just because they are looking for goal milestones. Like I said, McLeod 1 away, Perfetti 2 away from their goal highs for their careers. So just something to keep in mind.
Yep. And then I have JJ Peterka for a point for minus 145 and Zach Werenski for 4+ shots on goal at plus 120. All right. Now that we've given out our top plays for tonight, let's dive into the Portfolio EV tool from the Odd Shoppers. But before we do that, just a quick reminder, you can use promo code NHL BETS for 50% off your first month. You'll also find the link for that in the description of this video. All right, let's take a look at our top plays of the night, courtesy of the Portfolio EV tool. Franco, I think we're looking at the same game here. We're going to go to Detroit versus Florida. What is one of your best bets for the portfolio from the Portfolio EV tool?
Yeah, so I'm looking at Dylan Larkin. I believe we took him not that long ago, actually, on an under, because recently he's just kind of dried up as far as in the shot department. Now, he got there his most recent game on 9 attempts. He got 3. So, but prior to that, he missed 4 in a row and 6 of his last 7 prior to that hit. So he's just not been firing a ton. Shot volume is way down. But, even factoring in that 9 attempt performance, he's averaging 3.9 attempts over his last 10, which is just not a big number, especially considering like what we're used to seeing from Dylan Larkin. He's normally a guy shooting 5 or 6 attempts per game. So to be all the way down at under 4 attempts per game, that's not really ideal when you're looking at a guy to hit 3. And then on top of that, you're looking at a team like Florida that's been very dominant defensively. They just got Forsling back, which is huge for them on the blue line. So Detroit at this point is pretty much out. I mean, unless they win out and Montreal loses out, they're toast. So I think this is a team to target for shot unders, and I don't see much production coming out of this team.
No, and we talked about it, I believe, a month ago, kind of when Detroit was still in that playoff race of saying, hey, Larkin's probably a guy we're going to look to target to step up, and maybe his shots are a great angle. And that just was not the case at all. He has not been the guy that we thought he was going to be in this last stretch. So I do like that play. Dylan Larkin, under 2.5 shots on goal. In the last 10 games, Florida has also allowed the least shots on goal to forwards. So that kind of backs up that play even more. Sticking with that same game, as we talked about, Sider under 1.5 shots on goal. He's gone under this line in each of his last 5 games, 7 of his last 10 overall, looking at a larger time span. Against Florida, he's only had over 2 shots on goal in 6 or 3, I want to say. 3 of his last 9 games against them. He only covered this line at 3 of his last 9 against Florida. And then on the road this season, he hasn't been great recently. So I like Sider under 1.5 shots on goal as well. Florida, like the forwards, they're pretty stingy, 2 shots on goal to defensemen. So I think those are our top 2 Portfolio EV plays of the day. Any others you wanted to highlight?
Well, so one thing what I've been seeing a lot is it seems like this tool targets specific teams sometimes. And, as we were loading this up, we were originally going to highlight Patrick Kane, and then he disappeared. So, the problem in general with this tool is like once people start betting it, the value is going to go away, right? It's trying to highlight value on a specific book compared to others. But with that being said, they were highlighting Kane. we have Larkin, we have Sider. If you scroll down a little bit, Lucas Raymond as well as being highlighted for an under. So the tool hates Detroit to get shots tonight. All right. So if we know that, right, we can also kind of use that information to our advantage before. Sometimes later in the day, they'll post a goalie save prop under because, again, we're looking to fade this team for shots. So I don't mind taking Bobrovsky under saves tonight as long as he's confirmed for Florida in that. Over his last 10 games, he's gone under the number, which at least they're hanging in some books at 21.5, which seems really low.
Yeah.
But he's actually stayed under that number, 21.5, in 4 of his last 10 and 4 of his last 5 overall as well. Florida's really shutting it down. The tool's highlighting Detroit to be a fade for shots tonight. So that's another way to kind of, pivot away. Maybe if you don't have these books to target these props, maybe they're highlighting it on Rivers or MGM and you don't have that. And, you can kind of use this tool to your advantage in that way to target a team to just be a fade for shots. So just something to consider going forward when looking at these.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I think that's about it for tonight. So the Portfolio EV tool plays again are going to be Dylan Larkin under 2.5 shots on goal and Mo Sider under 1.5 shots on goal. All right, that's going to wrap up today's episode for NHL Best Bets presented by the Odd Shoppers. Thanks. We appreciate everyone for tuning in. Don't forget to check out our Tails portfolio, which will be linked in the description of this video. You can use code PUCKS for 50% off your first month. Also, with this Portfolio EV tool, you can use code NHL BETS for 50% off this amazing tool. We appreciate everyone for tuning in today, and we will talk to you guys next week.